So what really happens in the days and weeks between a before and an after? It's a cycle of love-hate and then, thankfully, love again. An understanding of this cycle is one of the most important parts of my patient's healing journey. Hi, I'm Dr. Amir Karam. I'm a board-certified facial plastic surgeon and founder and creator of Karam MD Skin. I specialize in facial rejuvenation, which basically means I help people look as young as they feel. But today we're going to go beyond surgical technique, and I'm going to talk with you about real unfiltered stages of recovery using photos and videos of patients that have actually had surgery and show you exactly how universal this experience of love, hate, love is. So if you're ready to understand the process, let's get started. All right, so the love phase, pre-op to the day of surgery. The surgery always begins with love. This is a phase of excitement and anticipation. A patient comes to me with a bunch of concerns, laxity, changes in their appearance, no longer looking the way they feel. And when the outside doesn't match the inside, this always leads to a sense of deep desire to get this all done. So there's hate of the changes that are happening. And then when they find the right surgeon, there's hope that's regained. And then we start talking and building a plan, and there's a huge amount of trust and optimism that happens during the stage. Then they begin to love the plan and get really excited about the prospects of looking as young as they feel and looking youthful. And the future starts to look more bright. Then comes the day of surgery. Right after the surgery, you begin to see yourself, and there's a little bit of swelling, but not that bad. And people look in the mirror and say, wow, I really look younger. This was such a great idea. I feel so wonderful. I'm gonna look amazing. They love me. They love my team. They love their decision. This is the honeymoon period, but it's unfortunately short-lived. So this is the part we need to really talk about honestly, the hate phase. Days 3 through 7 after surgery. So more accurately, this isn't so much you just hate it because it's painful or uncomfortable or anything like that. But what it is it's a what have I done to my face? And what if I'm the one that is not going to look normal and natural when all is said and done? And I'm the exception. How could this turn into this beautiful post-operative after photo that I've been seeing so much on Dr. Karam's site and all these amazing patient transformations, etc. So doubt starts to seep in. This is literally nearly universal. No matter how much you trust me, no matter how many before and afters you've seen, it's almost seems inevitable. So around day 3, the body's inflammatory process and swelling really seems to kick in. And sometimes there's some bruising, sometimes there's not, but there's distortion. You literally do not look like yourself at all at this point. And this point, day 3 through 4 or 5, is where the swelling is beginning to peak. It's actually getting worse instead of better. And so every day you wake up and instead of seeing a little bit of improvement, you're seeing things actually look worse. And that's very disheartening. A funny thing we've been doing with a lot of our patients is we've been asking them not to look in the mirror during this phase so they are not reminded of what they actually look like in this moment. And I joke about this really because this is where patients start to question if I really know what I'm doing. I mean, it's kind of funny, but there's always this looming fear in the back of the mind that this is going to be where things land. But the good news is that never happens. Thankfully. That's why, we don't stress about it. We just try to support through this period, but the person who's going through it, it's very real for them. And what's wild is that trust that we built in the beginning of this entire process starts to get questioned. All those beautiful before and afters, they suddenly feel out of reach, and the patient starts to think, what if I'm the exception? What if I'm the only one? What if this is the final result? It's a challenging few days, no matter what. That's why having a supportive post-operative team is non-negotiable. My team is incredible at supporting our patients through this and reminding them that this is going to be okay, just as it's normal, as expected. This is simply the body's way of healing. So then you get to day 6, and now you're at the peak of it, and you're going to start to see things improve from this point forward. And oftentimes, even by day 5, but usually definitely by day 6 and 7, the light at the end of the tunnel starts to peek through. The swelling has majority of it's behind you. Now there's this daily improvement that starts to happen. And as soon as you start taking steps in the right direction, faith is restored. I start to become believable again and trustworthy again, and the decision starts to feel maybe like it was the right decision. And at this point, the hate phase is thankfully coming to an end. All right, the love again phase. This is from week 1 really onto week 2 and beyond. So this is where things start to really turn around. This is my favorite part of the journey because this is where the magic really starts to show. And as you can see here in a 2-week post-op, how much things have changed from that 1 week. And most of the significant swelling is gone. Things aren't as distorted as they used to look. And you're starting to see, yeah, this is all gonna head in the right direction. Now, by no means is swelling gone by 2 weeks, but it's enough to show that, yes, we're gonna be going in a beautiful direction as swelling continues to improve, but then the emotional toll starts to, relax and you're not worried about it as much, and you get to just go forward with it and enjoy the changes that are coming on a daily basis. And honestly, you can really start to see the changes in the jawline and the neck and the volume and the shape. Everything points to what's going to ultimately be a lovely, beautiful outcome. The most important thing is when you start to look like yourself. This is really what it comes down to. Because as long as you start to look like yourself in a youthful version, you believe this was all worthwhile. And this is when I start getting emails and calls and my staff starts getting tons of feedback. Okay, Dr. Karam, I'm starting to love you again. The relief is undeniable. And then they realize all those things that they saw on my Instagram, YouTube, website are actually true after all. And that they're gonna be one of those great before and afters just like all the other ones. And between week 2 and 3, the love is back completely. They see that beautiful jawline, that refreshed appearance around their eyes, that natural elevation of their cheeks, and they start to look like themselves again, but that youthful version that they wanted. And that's when the trust in the process begins to solidify. All right, so let's put it all together. So when you look at the full journey, it all makes sense. You go from the before through the unavoidable temporary phase of healing to the beautiful, natural, and lasting after. Every single patient goes through this. It's a predictable path. Thankfully, we know exactly what you're gonna go through. That's why I always say, and the most important thing is trust the process. But in order to do that, you have to trust the surgeon and their team. You have to know that they have a plan and they have experience, and not just from the operating room, but every single day of your recovery. So important. The entire package has to be in line for you to feel and get you through this process safe and sound. All right, so there you have it, my friends, the love-hate cycle of recovery. It can be a scary process, but when it's managed correctly, the results are absolutely worth it. The goal is, and always will be, to help you look rejuvenated, not done, to look the best version of you, and ultimately look as young as you feel. I hope pulling back the curtain on the recovery journey has been helpful for you in empowering you as you go through it, and even further reinforce the trust that you have in me and hopefully any other surgeon that you choose, and that you flow through this process as easily and smoothly as possible. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to this channel. I make videos like this that help prepare you and empower you for your journey of facial rejuvenation and skin rejuvenation every single week, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Any questions, comments you have, drop them in comments below. And if you've had any personal experiences with these type of procedures, please drop them in the comments. We're a community. We want to learn from each other, support each other. Share this with some friends and family. If you know anyone who's going through or about to go through the surgical process, hopefully this video will be helpful for them. And finally, if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for the Karam MD Journal. It's a free newsletter that comes to your email each week. I write it. It's a beautiful compilation of information that'll help you stay on top of your skincare, wellness, facial rejuvenation, and much more. All right, folks, until next time, Dr. Amir Karam.